guys, happy Friday. Today is Friday, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I just want to start off by saying thank you to all of my new subscribers. It's really cool to just get that support and have those conversations back and forth with people who are interested in what you're doing. So thank you for subscribing and thank you for commenting. That's really nice. Today I'm going to finally be reviewing my ultimate shift dress. So I'm wearing one copy and I have my others with me, and I just have been dying to review this. So I actually did film a review last week and I just didn't get around to editing it. And then when I looked at the film, I wasn't all that impressed. So I'm going to follow my new review format. I've got my questions in front of me, and I've also challenged myself to do this in under 10 minutes. So my last review is just way too long. So I'm gonna do this in under 10 minutes. So let's get on with it. So first of all, I'm gonna stand up and just do a little dance for you so you can see what it looks like, and then I will show you my other ones. So here we go. Get this out of the way. So here it is. It's so pretty. I love it so much. I love the hem. I was a little nervous about the hem, as some of you might know from one of my previous videos, but you know what? I don't care, because I've been looking in the store and you know what? The hemlines on these dresses are shorter and I'm okay with that. And it's my birthday coming up on Monday. I'll be 46 and I don't care. So that's just the way that it is. So anyways, this is my dress. I love this dress so much. I'm so pleased that I finally downloaded it and made it. Absolutely love it. So let's get on with it. I've only got 10 minutes. So first of all, the pattern is the Sew Over It Ultimate Shift Dress. And it is a shift dress as well as just a top. And it comes with 3 sleeve lengths that you can choose from. So that's really great. The fabric requirements for this dress, it asks for a lightweight cotton, or if you want something a little bit more floaty like what I've got on right now, you can go with a rayon blend or a crepe. This is a crepe, or a georgette or something like that. As far as amounts of fabric, you are looking at anywhere from about 1.5 to 2.5. It just depends on how wide your fabric is. For the size that I cut and the width of the fabric I chose, it said that I would need 1.8 meters of fabric, and I did it in 1.5 meters of fabric. So, you know, definitely measure your pieces before you go to the fabric store, because you can save money by knowing exactly how much fabric you're going to need. So that's a recommendation that I have for you for sure. I used a couple different types of fabric. So this one here is a poly crepe that I picked up from Fabricland, and I'll tell you what I paid for it in a minute. I may have even mentioned that on one of my other blog posts, but or vlog posts. I'm not blogging anymore. But I have done it also out of a couple of rayon blends that I love, and let me just show those to you. So this was the very first one that I did, and you guys probably, well, you recognize this fabric by now, I'm sure. I also did a McCall's top in this fabric. So this was the first one I did, and then this is the second one that I did, and it's really pretty. I had so many compliments from these dresses, and I can't believe how fast they are to sew. They come together super fast. So yeah, so I used the poly, and this one is the crepe. So actually I will talk about what I paid for this crepe. I've got my little fabric card. So this is something that I do for my fabrics when I buy them. I have this little card. I'll actually just snap a photo, or no, I'll just hold it up. So you can see here what I purchased, what type of fabric it was, did I wash it, how wide was it. So I just pin this to the fabric, and then when I finally use the fabric, I keep a little swatch of it, and I write down what I made with it. So I just keep that in a recipe box, and it's just more for interest's sake than anything. So according to my little fabric card, this fabric all in for this dress cost me $16.66. Now that does not include the price of the pattern, and I never usually do include that because I tend to make patterns over and over and over and over. So it's hard to include the price of the pattern. So $16.66. And I want to talk about that for a second because my daughter went to Aritzia last year for my sister-in-law's wedding, bought a crepe dress just like this. It's a shift dress. It is identical. Even the closure is identical. The only difference is hers is a little bit more A-lined at the bottom. So it's a bit more flared, but otherwise it is identical. I'm not kidding you. She paid, I think, $180 for that dress. And then I just got the Bay catalog. So, you know, Hudson's Bay, quintessential Canadian company. And in there they have this floral shift dress, which has a bit of a trumpet sleeve, but otherwise pretty much the same dress. It is $158. I can't tell what fabric it is and it doesn't say in the catalog, but I could probably look that up. I'm sure it's some kind of a rayon or a crepe blend. I can guarantee you it's nothing like silk or anything like that. So yes, the shift dress, I mean, it's in style. It's never gone out of style, but it just seems to be really big right now, especially with the floral prints. And if you make them yourself, you can save a ton of money. How am I doing on time? I think I'm doing okay. So let's talk sizing. The sizing available in this dress, you have the measurements for the bust are from 33 inches all the way up to 45 inches with finished measurements of 35.5 inches to 47.5 inches. So I chose a size 12 to make, which had a bust measurement of 37, a waist of 30, and a hip of 40. Now, the waist and the hip don't really matter in this dress just because it's loose fitting. But so I looked at the bust measurement. Now I'm always going to repeat this in my video. So I apologize to those of you who watch every one of my videos. I'm going to always repeat my measurements because if anybody is watching who's new or who just specifically wants to see this pattern review, I want them to know what I'm working with versus what I chose to cut out. So here's what I'm working with. I'm 5'2". I am short in the torso. I have a 34.5 inch high bust, a 37.5 inch full bust, and just for fun, my waist is 30 inches. So I don't have a big dip to my waist. I'm pretty straight through the torso. So I could have chosen the size 10, which asked for a bust size 35. So I'm 34.5 across the high bust. I could have done a 10 and done a full bust adjustment. I had read some reviews and things like that this pattern kind of fit a little bit tight through the armhole and stuff. So, you know, I decided to go with a 12. 12 asks for a 37.5 inch bust, and it has a finished measurement of 39.5 inches. So I decided to start there. So I cut a 12 through the whole thing, made my muslin, and tried it on, and it fit perfect, except it was really tight through the armhole, just from about here all the way down under the arm and through about midway through the back of the arm as well. So basically this whole little like half moon part of the arm and the arm's eye. So that I was finding really, really tight. And so what I did is I simply graded to a 14 in the arm's eye and graded back to a 12 when I got close to the cap of the sleeve because it's fitting perfectly here. I don't like things, I'm pretty narrow in the shoulders and I don't like things to hang off of me. So I liked the way it was fitting here. So I'm gonna pop a picture or a couple pictures of what that looked like. I did this to the front and the back piece, and you can see that I've got the size 12 traced out, but then as the armhole, as you look at the arm's eye, you can see that I've increased it by a little bit, and that was the size 14 line. But then I went back to the size 12 near the cap of this, where the cap of the sleeve would fit in. Then I took the sleeve and I did the exact same change. So I just graded up to a 14. So you can see there's kind of two sizing lines as it comes up, and then it grades back to that 12 at the top. That's what I did. That is the only change I made. If you're curious on my 5'2" body, let me step back again and show you. On the hem, here's my kneecap. My waist is up here, by the way, just so you know. So you can see I am very short-waisted. Here's my bust, here's my waist. I did a, what was my hem? I did a 1 1/4 inch hem. So that's what I've got going on under here. On my sleeve, I did a 1 1/2 inch hem. So this was a little bit too long for my liking for the 3/4 length sleeve. So I did a 1 1/2 inch hem on the sleeve. So that's what I did. Now, actually, I'll talk about that in a second. What would I rate this pattern? I would rate this as a confident beginner. There's really not a lot that's difficult about this pattern. You will want to have some sewing experience because you do have to set in a sleeve. By the way, I have to say that the sleeve draft on this pattern is without a doubt the best sleeve draft I have ever worked with. Thank you, Lisa and crew, because I have never set a sleeve in that went in so smoothly without any issues or puckers or anything, or I've not had to fight or fiddle with it. It slides in and just goes in perfectly. So it's a beautiful draft, and I'm super excited about that. So bravo to Lisa and her team. So yeah, you do have to set in a sleeve, and there are some darts. And so if you're making this and you're fairly new, then you may want to stick to just a lighter cotton. I think I kind of mentioned that in another video I did recently. And then once you're more comfortable with the darting and with the sleeve, setting in the sleeve, then you can move on to something that is like a crepe or a georgette or something that has a little bit more shiftiness to it. Then you can conquer that. But I would say a beginner. And the reason why I say a beginner as well is related to one of my other questions, which is how are the instructions? And the instructions on this pattern are fantastic. So they do such a nice job at laying this out step by step, and it's dummy proof. I mean, really, you can't help but be able to follow these instructions. They're so simple. This dress too, I didn't mention, is just a pullover. There's no zip or anything like that. You just put a hook and eye to close this. And I did that on my first one. And then on the second one, I actually did a little elastic loop. So I'll show that to you. So I just added this little elastic loop and a button. So I kind of like that better. And so that's what that looks like. Whoops, hold that up. That's what that looks like when it's closed. It's a really pretty button. So yeah, really simple. So very, very easy. Okay, am I gonna make this again? Yes, I actually am in the process of making this, but not for me. I'm making it for my youngest daughter. So she did say that she was interested in learning how to sew and make a shift dress. And she gave it a good go. She came down and helped me get the muslin ready, but we decided that was probably easiest if I do her dress because I'm doing it out of this exact same fabric line. It's just in a different colorway. So let me just show that to you. So that's hers. She wants it for Easter. I think it's so pretty. So she's going to have that one. So I think it's just easier if I do this for her. But yeah, so I've got her muslin right here. One sleeve, so just to check the fit. The fit was really good. She is smaller than I am. Of course, she's only 18, but she still has to do a bust adjustment. She still has a C-cut bust, so I have to do a bust adjustment. So I followed the same rule with her that I did with me. I ended up cutting a size 8. It fits her great. She's got the same issue through the armhole though, so I did have to make the adjustment to the armhole to help that fit. So I don't know if that's just a draft thing. So I can't really say if it's just our bodies, but I mean, I'm not complaining about that draft because I love that sleeve draft. I think it's amazing. It's just so easy. Anyways, so yes, I am making another one for my daughter at the moment. Conclusion is I love this pattern. It's so quick to make up. So once you do have your muslin fit to your body and you're happy with everything about it, I would say from start to finish, I can zip one up in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what kind of fabric I'm working with. And the other thing I love about this pattern is it's super easy to kind of make some changes to. So the next one I am going to put some pockets just into the side seam, and I am going to try and throw a trumpet sleeve on this one. I think I saw a hack recently that Lisa put on her Instagram post of somebody who had hacked this pattern and put on a trumpet sleeve, and it looked really pretty. So I am going to try and copy what they've done here and maybe put a trumpet sleeve onto one of my versions. And summer's coming, so I do want to do one with the little kind of flutter sleeve because I think that would look really pretty as well. So that is it. I think I did that in record time. We'll have to see when I edit this, but that's it. Love this pattern. Highly recommend this pattern. it's a downloadable, or I think you can order the hard copy if you're not if you don't like printing. But great pattern, and just be aware of the sleeve issue. So you may find it's a little tight and pulling across the sleeve, and there's a couple of different things that you can do for that. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed that, and I want to say thanks again because I've had so many wonderful comments on my other reviews, and I hear you. There's some people out there with bodies similar to mine, and they want more reviews, and I have more. Trust me, they're coming. I just have to find these moments in my house where it's quiet and I'm alone. So thank you all for tuning in. Please, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have a question for me. I try to be pretty quick at responding to those. So thank you. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Bye.